Hello everyone and welcome back to Miyuki Crochet. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this basket bag. If you're on social media, you've seen these basket bags everywhere. And when I saw them, I immediately thought, how can I make one of these for myself? And if you've seen the summer collection, you'll see that there are tons of basket bags and I'm really inspired. So today I'm going to show you how to make one. So what you need is I have a little sparkly hook here. I have an 8mm crochet hook, some raffia that I got from a local craft store. Keep in mind that working with raffia is a little trickier than working with yarn, and I'll explain that in another video that I'm going to link below. If you're new to crochet, please refer to my other videos how to crochet. If not, let's get started. Alright, we're going to start by doing a slip knot. And we're going to chain 5. Once you've chained 5, we're going to do a slip stitch in the first stitch furthest away from your hook. Alright. So your project looks like this, and what we're going to do now for the first 3 rounds is we're going to do 2 half double crochet in each chain space. This is working on an increase, and the project will be, like, you can make it as big as you want. Mine is about 8 inches wide, and you can make it bigger or smaller, it's totally up to you. So if you're new to half double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over again. You have 3 stitches on your hook, yarn over, and then pull through all 3. Alright, so we're going to do another one in the same chain space. Just pull on your tails, and then you're going to keep going. So again, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, and then pull through all 3. Whoop. There you go. And you're going to keep doing that for 3 rounds. So we're going to just keep going. So keep going until you get to the first stitch. We're slowly getting to our first stitch here. Alright. And I always just kind of tug on the tail to kind of make my work a little cleaner. So now we're going to do a half double crochet in the first stitch that we just did earlier. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So your project looks like this. So this counts as your first round. We're going to do 2 more rounds like this with the increase, and then we're going to be doing a little bit less increasing, because you'll notice if you do too much increases, it looks kind of like a wave. So let's do that for the next round. Same thing, half double crochet 2 in the same chain space. If you wanted, you could also put stitch markers to know every time you hit your next row. But it doesn't really matter, because if you know me and you follow my tutorials, I tend to usually just go with measurements, and I don't usually count my rows because I just get confused, and who has time for that? So I'm back at my second row, so I'm starting my 3rd row now. Still doing the increases 2 in each chain space. And you'll notice that the width is getting wider, which is what we want, because we want this bag to get bigger. And so that's why we're doing the increases. Oops. Oops. By round 3, your project looks something like this, and it's starting to look more like a project than just a bunch of raffia on a tube. Okay, so for our 4th round, and for the next 2 rounds, what we're going to do is we're going to do half double crochet, and then an increase, and then we're just going to continue repeating on that pattern. So basically what we're trying to do is we are trying to do an increase, but we just don't want it to be as drastic. So we're just going to lessen the amount. And you can also just use your intuition and do, you could do 4 and then do an increase. You could do 2 and do an increase depending on your tension. And yeah, just meet me back when you're done that. So we're going to do 2 more rounds with a bit of a less of a decrease. So I'm going to do an increase in every 3rd stitch instead of doing it in every stitch. All right, so meet me back. So your project looks something like this, and like I said, you can keep going and or you could stop here depending on the size you want. For the next round, what we're going to do 1 round before we start doing a decrease. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do an increase every 5. And again, you can use your intuition too, but I'm just going to do it every 5. So same thing, we're just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And in the 5th, we're going to do an increase. We just don't need a drastic increase anymore. So you're going to keep doing that until you get back to where you started. So 1. We are now at our last round. Woo-hoo. So the bag is almost finished. So what we're going to do now is we're going to continue half double crochet, but we're going to work 2 decreases. It doesn't really matter where you do your decreases. What I like to do though is I like to kind of put them one on this end and one on this end. So I'm going to crochet all the way here. I'm going to do a decrease and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side just so it's even, but it doesn't really matter. You can put stitch markers if you want in the center of your project here and here. Or you can do it by eye. So we're just going to half double crochet and we're not going to do any increases. We're going to just do a decrease about here. So you're going to do 13 half double crochets and meet me back when you're there and I'll show you the decrease. Now we're going to do a decrease. So we're just going to skip the next stitch. So we're literally just going to skip over it. So yarn over. And we're not going to go into this one like we normally. We're going to go to the one next to it. And we're going to work in our half double crochet. And then we're going to keep going till we get to the other side. If you use the stitch marker, great. If not, you can just count. And then just do a decrease on the other side. Work in our decrease. So again, we're going to skip over the next stitch, half double crochet, and get back to where we started. Alright, once we get back to where we started, what we're going to do now is a slip stitch to finish the work. So insert your hook, pull yarn through, and then pull that through here. And that kind of just closes off the increase. Use your hands, stretch it out a little, grab your scissors, cut it, and then gently pull through because it's paper. Don't forget, it breaks super easily. Do it like that, and you're going to repeat the same steps to make another piece like that. So basically what you're going to do is that I've already made my piece, full disclosure, but you'll be making one now, is that you'll make 2 of these and then you're going to attach them together to make the bag. So you're going to follow the same steps that you just did and make 2. Alright, so meet me back and I'll show you how to join them together and how to make the strap. Alright, so once you've made 2 pieces that are identical, you're going to grab a yarn needle. And I didn't mention it earlier that you needed to have one, but all my projects you need a yarn needle, scissors, and a measuring tape. They should always be around you really nearby because they're very handy. So we're gonna grab our raffia and we're going to now get the piece to sew it all together. So I like to give myself more than enough to basically what we're gonna close it up from like here onwards, like mostly more than half of it. So make sure you have enough raffia. Oh. And we're going to insert the raffia into the yarn needle. And you need a wide eye for this one, so it fits really nice. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to, so you see, I kind of put them on top of each other to know where to sew. I'm gonna go maybe kind of close to, let's say I'm gonna go here. So it's a little higher than halfway, but not by much. And I'm going to put my yarn needle in one of the stitches. And you can use a stitch marker here and measure it out if you want to be exactly precise. And then I just make a knot. Remember, it's paper, be gentle, because if it breaks, it's a lot of work to put it back together. So now we're just going to seam it closed. And everyone has a different way of doing this, and any way is really acceptable. You can't really see the detail of this part super clearly, so you can kind of do your own thing if you want. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to, so I've put the basket together, I'm gonna use my hands, and I'm just going to, on the other side, I'm gonna put my yarn needle into the stitch and then pull through, joining the two pieces together. And I kind of just hold it like an ice cream sandwich. Just don't eat it. And then just keep going like that. So you put your yarn needle in one, pull through, and then you're gonna do the same thing on the next. So just repeat what you did. Insert your yarn needle, pull through. Same thing, insert your yarn needle, pull through, pull through. And you're gonna seam it shut, kind of like halfway and where you started to seam it when you began seaming. So just meet me back when you've done that. Alright, so now that you've gone about equal distance between where we started and where we are now, it's just for the opening of the bag. As you can see, you could seam more or less depending on how open you want your bag and the shape. Take your hands, stretch it out before we sew it shut. Like this, stretch it out, stretch it out, stretch it out. Okay, and then now what we're going to do, so make sure it's even. I'm gonna do one more actually because I realized it's not as even as I want. Do it one more time. And if you had used a stitch marker, you'd know exactly where to go. Don't be lazy people like me. Okay, now we're going to end off. So we're going to take our yarn needle, insert it in the stitch, and we're gonna make a knot. I'll put it this way, put a knot this way. Remember, it's paper, be gentle, like this, woohoo! Cut, but leave yourself some space because we're going to be still doing some adjustments. And then I would just like to now go over and just get rid of all these little tails. So take your yarn needle and now you're going to just clean it up, clean your work up. So just take the tails, leave them, just getting rid of them a little bit. And then I always like to go over with a needle and thread to really ensure that the pieces don't move. So you can do that too. I think it's necessary and it makes it look better, but you don't have to per se, but I suggest that you do. Do that with all of the little tails that you have. Just get rid of them. Okay, so now that you've gotten rid of your tails, this one too. Now that all your tails are gone, your project looks like this. And for now, what you can do, I mean, you can really go crazy with the strap and you can do anything you want. You could add leather straps, you can refurbish a belt, you can use a necklace, you can really do anything at this point and really make it your own. And I love when you guys do that. For today, I'm gonna show you how to do a raffia strap on the bag directly. Grab your yarn, or your raffia. It's so weird working with a roll, so different, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna attach it at the beginning parts here. So to do that, all you have to do is literally insert your hook, pull the yarn through, make a knot. You could use your hands to do that too. You don't need to get all fancy. And then we're just going to make a long chain. That is how easy it is. And you can make the chain as long as you want. If you want it to be a bag that hangs a little lower or higher, it does not matter. I like it where it kind of falls around the hip area and you're just doing a chain, so you're just literally pulling the yarn through continuously until you have the desired length. And just, yeah, have fun, do it crazy. You can do anything you want at this point. I'm gonna keep it simple. Make a long chain. All right, so meet me back and I'll show you how to attach this chain if you're doing the same type of strap as me. All right. All right, my chain looks like this. Super simple, super sturdy, super cute. So what you're gonna make sure of now is to make sure that it's not twisted. So what I do whenever I'm making a strap like this to make sure when I'm attaching it that it's not twisted, it's very simple. I just take my hands and you can see that one side is actually more elevated and the other side is a little bit more flat. You can just use your hands. It doesn't really matter. I find that the part that's more flat should be the inside and this is the outside. It doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna do it that way. So take your project and I run my hands down the project to make sure that I untwirl it, I guess is the word you could use. And then I just keep doing that, just holding it. And then I get to the end and I know that it's not tangled. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to the end here, insert my hook, I'm gonna grab it, pull it through, and then I'm gonna take my scissors, I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna take that tail that I have here, and I'm gonna pull it through like this. And then pull it there, and there you go. And then, same thing, you're gonna weave in all your tails, and there we go. And then at this point after this, you can go over everything with a thread and a needle. I do recommend that. It's just so much safer and you get peace of mind knowing that it's finished. Pull it through, take your scissors. And there you have it, your very own basket bag. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial on how to crochet your own basket bag. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, the fun does not end here. Follow me on Instagram at Miyuki Crochet to follow my daily crochet hustle.